All right, good morning, guys. We are live and ready to go. Excellent connection from YouTube. Let's get on with the morning watch list. So, I picked these three actually not really because I necessarily like them all, but only because our gap scanner showed three stocks this morning. And then I ran it again a few minutes ago and we got a lot more stocks. So, we'll have to kind of weave around and figure out what we want to trade today. Let's go ahead and share the screen. Where is it? For a second screen. All right, here we go. So first one, let's just go and kind of go through the list. So IBIO was actually one that we were trading Tuesday. Was that Tuesday? I think it was. Let's quickly go back here. Yeah, so it was on the 3rd. So yesterday was the 4th. So yeah, Tuesday. This was a nice little bounce trade that we captured right here. You know, imagine we just held this one. This would have went up 71%. That's pretty ridiculous. So that would have been a really good overnight trade, but I typically don't hold things overnight, and that's just entirely fine. I mean, that's not our strategy. Although, there's many good strategies out there. So if you guys hold overnight, these are some really high flyers that could be really good because you have that pre-market. But then these things sometimes go down just as fast as they go up. So it's not really something I want to be involved in. Um, anyway, this stock is interesting. The news is kind of it's kind of already been out there, so I'm actually surprised that it's up so much. And not to mention, there's a massive amount of dilution. And if you go to the stocks to trade, no wait, trade to win forum, I was talking about the news out there about it, and just let me just move this over and we can check it out. So coming over to their 10K, check this out. As discussed above, the company issued 25 million shares A warrants and 25 million shares B warrants on October 29th, 2019. These warrants are exercisable at a price of 22 cents per share and will expire in 2 years. So that's really aggressive. That means that right now, new shares, so a bunch of dilution can be dumped into the market. And let's just go here. And by the way, this came out on the November 14th. So right now the price is at 0.33, and that's 10 cents above that dilution price. And you can see this big gap down that happened. These gap downs are typically caused by dilution and in secondary offerings that just dump onto the retail market. So I'm really skeptical about entering this trade, and I definitely I didn't really want to, but I was like we'll talk about it anyway today. But yeah, plus it's sub dollar, some in the range that we typically we're not trading in anyway. Although we did take this trade, but that's just because this support line bounce was looking so good and I couldn't help myself. So that's kind of why we took this one. Although, this first support line bounce looks a little bit better. This was a nice little breakout zone. I love trading those breakout zones. Oh, my neck is stiff. I think it's because we got the new screen over here. Maybe I just need to like completely shift my position. All right, moving along. AUPH. This one's really crazy, and I'm not even really sure what we're gonna do about this one because this thing is gapping up. What was that? Let's see, from $8 to $25. So it's at 200% right here. It's 1624. Am I just counting that wrong? Because it should be much more than that. That's okay. Never mind. I was counting wrong. I was counting it 3 times. So this is a huge gap up, and the problem with this one though, it's about 800 million market cap. You can see down here, and the shares outstanding around 94 million. Again, this isn't exactly in the range that we want to be trading, but the news about this one, let me quickly go over. Where is it looking? Oh, you know what? I forgot to post this. 1 second. So the news about this one was that positive trial for lupus related drug. I mean, that's really good news. So obviously this one's up tremendously, and we'll definitely be looking at it. I'm not really sure if I'll be trading it. What I'll probably be doing this market open, I'm not going to set any limit orders or anything. I'm going to take it really calm, and we're just going to see what's moving, going in the right direction, and then we're going to look for maybe a first pullback or something like that. That's what my plan is for today. Maybe we'll do a dip buy, but we'll see what happens. I'm definitely not going to, rush into anything today. Just, our watch list is a little all over the place. I didn't really find anything super nice that I want to trade. SES is possibly the one thing that I might be wanting to trade, and this one has a merger deal, and it's in the range that we want. So it's in that $5.90 range. It has a market cap under 10 million, and its shares outstanding are about 1 million. So this thing can fly in every direction if it wanted to. So I think SES is going to be where most of my attention is today, but we'll see what happens. I mean, ultimately it really depends where the volume is. Oh yeah, my neck is nice and stiff. So 7.77, that's the top it made. So it already flew up all the way to 7.77, right around here under the $8. One thing I'm a little nervous about on this one as well is I already had that big two big green days, and you want to be careful when you have one of those things that already had a big run up to the upside, because a lot of times these will be a little bit overextended, and there's still a lot of bag holders on this thing. So people might be really excited to sell into any sort of spike. And that's why I would be a little bit more careful on this one. I'm going to go ahead and just remove some of these little orders that we have. Let me go, not orders, but trend lines. So we got 7 minutes till the market opens. We got plenty of time. No need to rush really anything. Let me just scroll on back here. Come on, why is it not clicking? Let me go ahead and I remove this one. Make this actually a line right around here. Let's go back a little bit. And here you can see, yeah, this is the big breakout we're having all the way back to 7.79, and I'm going to go ahead and identify this $8 area as, again, some really key support zone. And you can see this overlapping down here a little bit as well. So $8 key resistance at this moment. I don't really see it going past $8 at the moment. I mean, it might happen, especially with that low float, but I'm going to be very cautious on this one. So again, nothing like really blowing me away on the morning watch list. At least the initial three that we were looking at. Good morning, everyone. What's up, James? Engine Coin. Are you talking about crypto over here? We're looking at stocks right now, but I'll be happy to review crypto in our crypto.enzlo.com morning watch list videos. I'll definitely go ahead and check that out. I think was I trading Engine Coin? No, we were talking about that about 2 weeks ago, though. And good morning, Sebastian. All right, guys, we have a few more minutes here till the market opens. Let's see what else we can find. No need to rush into anything. Let me quickly publish my watch list, which I, again, somehow didn't click the post button. I don't know how that keeps slipping my mind. I feel like maybe I just finish it. I'm like, nice, done, watch list ready to go. And then I start looking at something else and I never click publish. All right, that is published. That is ready to go. So yeah, IBIO, huge dilution, not really something you want to be part of. Plus under $1. IUPH, it's basically a mid cap. It's also something we typically don't trade, but this one could be really volatile, so I'm definitely going to be looking at it. I think any dips on AUPH could be really nice bounces. SES, yeah, just, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of bag holders in this one. I think any rally potential this one has is going to be a little bit weak, so I'm not really sure if we're going to be touching that one either. I guess we're just going to, play it by ear, be really calm. Let's see what else we got going on here. DLTH. This one's quite the little gapper, huh? And actually, let's just check out PTGX very quickly. I want to see what it did after market. Okay, so this one, interesting. Kind of held this area pretty well. So this is the one we traded yesterday. Big rally, then that gap, and then the first big bounce right here. That's what we got at 7.4. Sold into that bounce, and yeah, as it was holding its highs back in this area, especially as we were breaking out to new highs here, and this became new support. This could have been a really good trade in this area. Let me go ahead and see what that trade would have been. This would have been 4%, and then a failed kind of breakout here. But then this secondary pullback, this one could have been a really nice trade. But we don't trade those afternoons, or we typically don't want to. We'll be done usually around this area latest. So around 12 is when we probably would have finished trading in Berlin. We got another 3 minutes till the market opens. I wonder what's going to be taken off today. DLTH is definitely a little bit overextended, although its its market cap in the 250 million and its shares in the 32 million outstanding is exactly in the range that we like. A little bit overextended, but it did have a nice little pullback here, around 7%, so that's kind of nice too. I mean, these are all going to be really interesting plays today. Don't think we'll be touching that one. EXPR. Nice little flag pattern here, little pennant flag. Also up very nicely pre-market. Let's see. Wonder what the news is on this one. Stock soars after results to beat expectations. Okay, so earnings and new guidance and buyback program. Well, these guys are doing a lot of stuff. Now, if you guys remember, we had SMIT that also doing a buyback program. These guys shot through the roof yesterday, but we're a pretty aggressive pullback. So their share buyback program didn't really amount to much, I would say, in that actual day, although it did have that big gap up. So let's see if EXPR also has similar results. I'm going to go ahead and mark this one just because it's exactly what we're looking for. SESN is another one that we've traded in the past. We've been marking left and right. Let me go ahead and move it on the 1 minute, kind of get ready for that market open. All right, guys, we got another minute till the market opens. I mean, nothing really that I'm super stoked about, but let's just play calm, no expectations, and hope for the best. Only trade the best setups, and yeah, that's all we can really do every day. Just focus on that. So we take this moment to have a nice little sip of water. Coffee is already drained. Leave a like if you guys have not done so already, and yeah, let's get ready for the trading day. Maybe stretch my neck a little bit. Oh man, what is going on? "14 seconds, here we go. One minute. Ding, 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 ding. SESN, final stages of cancer treatment. Interesting. So just a bunch of possible news on this one, but nothing really wrapping up the nothing really super concrete. Wow, look at this morning dip we had here with BNGO. 9% right off the bat. Big dollar volume showing up on this one, and EXPR. Kind of rehashing some of the news. This one was also a former spiker, so there could be a lot of back holders in this one. Again, Very, very cautious here, but at the $1, this could be a good bounce potential. Yeah, this thing is selling off quite aggressively. But, 30 million market cap, 26 million shares outstanding. I mean, there's something there. ONTX that we were trading is making some moves too. Let's see, this could be a little green to red move. I mean, red to green. How do I mix that up all the time? Let's quickly check a lot of the ones we were looking at. IBIO. It's rallying pretty nicely in this area. I would be so cautious about trading this one, but up already. This could be pretty good, especially if it breaks the 0.33. I'm going to go ahead and put a little alert here. There's no way I really want to be trading this one, but I do want to kind of just watch it and learn from it. I'm going to say at or above actually is totally fine. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try to be a little bit more vigilant because we almost missed the trade yesterday. That would have been really, really fire just because we were, too focused on a few stocks that weren't really moving too much in the right direction. So this one, big gap up with the share buyback program. %, not really moving the needle though. SEAC is kind of has a nice dollar volume here. Tried to do a morning gap up, didn't really hold it though. 6%. Now it's kind of dipping down. Again, also a little bit overextended. I'm not really sure how I feel about trading this one. I'm going to put an alert here though. See if it dips under 4. Maybe move my chair a little bit. AUPH. Now this one's having a serious gap down. The dollar volume on this one is just huge. And BNGO is kind of the one that's really interesting to me as well. This thing was so active pre-market. Now the $15 seems like a key area. Just check out this gap up. Let me quickly pull up the larger chart on this one to give you guys a perspective on this gap up. I mean, this price is just kind of hanging in the sky. Last time it had one of these big gap ups right here, it really pulled down quite significantly until it found former support. So let's go ahead and identify that. So there's definitely going to be some support in this $10 area. I'm sure there's going to be much support along the way, but that's just a stock that I just don't feel comfortable getting in. So far, huge volume, just a bunch of selling volume. I mean, this thing is just kind of entertaining to watch, huh? Let's see what happens here at the $15. Can it hold? NASDAQ. A lot of buyers coming in from the NASDAQ. Let's see here. Oh, and the 15 just cracked. Although this thing is selling off really aggressively, it's about that 10% mode. And it's a larger cap, so I think these sell-offs will probably be bought into pretty heavily. But yeah, just that it's so overextended. It seems like the 1475 area has a lot of buyers and it seems to be holding. It could be a really good first bounce here at the 1475. Here we go. There's the bounce. $15.32. Okay, well, we called that bounce, but we didn't trade it, so it doesn't really matter. Again, I didn't really feel comfortable trading this one. I'd probably already be taking profits at the 1550. Um, I would 100% be taking profits, and I'd probably be out of this trade. Didn't really feel like, look like that breakout. Oh, okay, here you go. It's continuing a little bit. All right, while that breakout continues, let's quickly check out a few other things here. SES, what's going on over here? Not much of anything. Really strong pullback. Yeah, those are the back holders that we were talking about selling into the spike. BNGO, kind of similar thing. Had that morning spike here, and now people are selling into that spike, so that's not really holding either. Did have a nice little bounce off this support zone. Probably could have gotten a little aggressive on some of these pullbacks, especially this one here at 1.11. That would have been probably a really good buy in hindsight. But again, guys, those buys can be pretty intense sometimes, I'm not going to lie. A lot of sellers on IBIO. This thing could be getting crushed any day now. EXPR with the buyback program, having some interesting bounce right here. It's not really, the percentage gains on this one aren't really that attractive though. Let's check out AUPH again. With that really nice bounce that had the 15 or 1475. 5% bounce, not too bad. Looks like that EMA might be pushing it down now. Let's see, this is the big 15.8 first shoulder. That's just a slow downwards trend on VFM. I'm going to go ahead and mark this one. Let's see if we dip below this area. Create alert. I would definitely want to be watching it below create. I definitely don't feel comfortable buying AUPH this high. ASLN, a lot of these former ones that we're trading this week and last week even. Huge dip down. Wow, we were busy trading this one as well. I would actually like to see a bigger crash on ASLN, maybe past the $2. I'm not sure if we'll get that today, but I think that would be a little bit more interesting to buy into. Create an alert. Go ahead and just, put that back on the radar. All right, guys, we're about 10 minutes now into the morning open. Things are calming down just a little bit. And let's see if we get any sort of red to green move or some sort of reversals. This is a little, when the price stops moving so aggressively, and you can find some nice positions here. We didn't force any trades this morning. There's a lot of interesting stuff moving, but like I said, I didn't really feel super comfortable with anything, so I was really kind of finger off the trigger today. This is actually looking pretty interesting with EXPR. Might be breaking above this 4.7 area. Let me go ahead and create an alert here. I wouldn't mind buying on a pullback on that one. Some nice bounces happening on BNGO. DLTH actually had one of the nicer breakouts this morning. Earnings winner. I do like how this one's moving actually. Pretty nice shares outstanding. This could continue to move higher. It kind of broke past that any sort of resistance. And if it breaks past 11, I mean, this thing could really keep moving. Let's go ahead and mark that. And just kind of identify that there's going to be some big support at about the $10 area. So kind of close to where it is right now. Kind of looked like it was totally rejected off the $11. If it holds the 75, could be interesting. EXPR is now above the 7. Okay, that could really rally. See, it might have its little first pullback here. I just don't like the percentage returns on this one. It's just moving a little bit slow. That'd probably be my biggest concern on it. Interesting bounce area right here at the 9.7 again. I just don't really like that failed breakout. That was a pretty strong failed breakout. And this thing might just crawl on lower. So yeah, let's just see what happens. No need to rush into anything. I don't really feel comfortable with buying DLTH just yet. I would like to see a bigger pullback. Ideally past the 50. A lot of volume today. But just that gap down it had before, those 4 red days it had beforehand were just really aggressive. Um, I could see a lot of people taking profits in these areas. This first pullback right here would have been the one to go for. I think that would have been the trade today. Kind of missed that one. I was looking a little all over the place. DLTH would have been that first pullback trade, would have been, I think, the ticket, buying on the break to the upside. But again, we missed that one. That could have been a really nice trade. Let's just quickly scope out, see what else is moving. So we got a good radar going on here. Wow, what a sell-off on SESN. AUPH kind of calming down a little bit after that first bounce. Still quite a nice bounce that it did have. I didn't really feel fully comfortable on any one of these trades, so I didn't, end up pulling the trigger on any of them. BNGO having a huge, big gap up, but it oftentimes gets really sold into on a lot of these gaps. But it also, with its 26 million float, 33 million market cap, I mean, uh, this thing has a lot of room to rally really hard, and we see it again and again. But I think this first spike that happened not too long ago is getting me again a little on edge as well. So yesterday we didn't trade till about 10, uh, what was that, like 10:05. So again, guys, there's no rush. And yesterday also didn't look like we were gonna, snag a trade. The sellers are quite aggressive on this BNGO as well. Um, I think there's a lot of people that bought, above $2 that are just happy to sell into any sort of spike. Always want to be careful with these stocks that could have a lot of back holders. There is quite the amount of dip buyers on this one though, right in the $19 area. One last bounce, so it could be in the 15. BNGO has some of the nicer dollar volume today. I'm not the biggest fan of watching how this one's trading. You'll see a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers, and they just completely get chomped away really fast, um, which in theory is a good thing, but makes it a little less predictable. Ooh, big sellers now. That 600 at the 123. A lot of times it helps to find potential positions on the 5-minute chart down here. Kind of reduces a little bit of the noise. And that's how we kind of first identified that this 1.2 area could be really big support. DLTH, having that crack that we were looking for. Very quickly bouncing. Keeping a close eye on BNGO, still at the 1.22. %3 bounce. Not really enough to really spike my interest. I still feel like there's a bit more risk in this trade. These failed breakouts can be really nice dip potential because you can kind of see where the former breakout zones were right around here in this area. And this one wasn't very strong. Let's say we entered a position here. Volume's a little light. Probably want this one to be closer to 130. All right, here we're getting potential secondary crack. This is what we were waiting for, really past the 9.24. We just missed that bounce. That was the one I wanted to get into. Let's see if we come back down to this area. Even a dip past the 9 would actually be quite nice. Not sure if we're going to get this one. I like the support, but I don't really like the amount of upside. And that's really what's kind of keeping me on bay on this one. I'm still watching BNGO. Right now it's at 1.25. So the bounce was, pretty decent. I don't know. Can we crash a little bit? Oh, okay, it looks like that bounce finally happened. A lot of dip buyers here on this one, especially getting closer to the $9. The 17 is where we kind of wanted to enter several times. Yeah, I would already be looking to close out this position if we entered. That was really close. I was just on the fence about entering this trade. Probably should have done it. It did kind of exactly what I wanted it to. Came back down to the breakout area. Should have been a bit more aggressive on this one. I think we missed this trade. So that's the second missed trade today, just by being way too calm. The problem with this trade is just that, I'll tell you, I mean, the problem with this trade is the potential upside was just not compelling enough for me. So I never ended up, pulling the trigger on this one. Although, I think we could have got on pulled like a good 60 cents a share on this one. BNGO is the other one I'm looking at. I was really waiting for a little bigger dip down here. I think there's a good chance that it might crash back to 1.5. 1.15 I meant. Again, no really returns that are blowing me away my interest. DLTH back to 9.4. Yeah, that would have been a good move. That would have been a great trade. It would have been good to get out as quick as we wanted to on that one. That could have, it could have been around 4% profit, 5%. Just not really that compelling. To me, I felt like there was more risk in that trade somehow. So I never ended up going for it. Really, buying that first morning dip on almost all of these would have been the way to go. And then on, which one was it? EXPR, that first pullback was really, really nice. Somehow we missed both of those. Yeah, somehow we missed all the trades this morning. I don't know. Maybe I was too calm. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to watch this replay and then I'll have to come up with an idea of what we are missing here. I think BNGO though could be the one we're gonna look at. I don't know. I'm gonna take a quick little break and